All of that oil makes it to market through 800 miles of steel. It's built the Alaska economy we know today and pumped thousands of dollars into the bank accounts of Alaskans through their permanent fund dividend checks. The Trans-Alaska Pipeline ignited an economic boom that continues today, 30 years after the oil began to flow down the line. Tonight we continue our look at the pipeline's past and future with Channel 2's Mike Ross, who is near Fairbanks tonight. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening to you, John. We're at the Pipeline Visitors Center. It's about 10 miles north of Fairbanks. It's a great spot for tourists to get a close-up look at the pipeline. And in fact, we've drawn a crowd here. Where are y'all from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. That's a long way from Alaska. Y'all having fun?
Yes.
What do you think of this pipeline?
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Okay, well, good deal. Well, you know, we've been seeing this all day. Tour buses have been showing up, and, you know, the tourists get a chance to look at some of the pipeline safety features like these vertical support members. There's 78,000 of these that hold the pipeline up. Now, the pipeline is not actually bolted to the ground. The pipeline sits on this big piece of metal. There's a Teflon slider pad here underneath, and then that sits on top of here, and it's not bolted down. In an earthquake, that allows the pipeline to slide forward and backward and left and right, so it doesn't, you know, break the pipeline if there's an earthquake. Also, too, when the pipeline heats up in the summertime, like it is here in Fairbanks, very warm today, and contracts in the cold, that allows it to move back and forth safely. One of the safety features that the tourists have been seeing here today. Now, this short section of the pipeline has become a huge tourist attraction. As we mentioned, all day long, tour buses have been stopping here. Visitors have been coming out and hearing a short presentation about the pipeline, and they told us that they are so impressed at what they've seen.
It's amazing that it goes 800 miles, you know, that it's just that big.
I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that they were able to do something like this, and it's, you know, can stand earthquakes. It's just amazing.
It's really obviously quite a tremendous feat, and it's also of great value to the United States.
Now, while the tourists have been impressed by all of this, the economic impact, as we've been talking about, is even more impressive. ICER, the Institute of Social and Economic Research, told us that according to their calculations, over the 30 years of the pipeline's history, it's pumped about $77 billion, John, into the state's tax revenue.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to be talking about tonight, I understand, on the NewsHour.
That's right, John. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to take a more in-depth look at the numbers, how much the pipeline has generated, what that money has been used for, and we're going to look at some rather dire predictions about declining oil production up on the North Slope, declining oil flow through the pipeline, and what that may mean for the future of Alaska and the people who live here. That's coming up at 6. But, John, before we leave you this evening, we want to share some more of the spectacular views we've seen coming down the line. Now, after our report last night, we drove down through Adigan Pass in the Brooks Range, and that's the pipeline's highest point at about 4,700 feet. Now, south of there, the pipeline hugs the banks of the Koyukuk River and passes by more just incredible mountain scenes. And just a few miles north of the Arctic Circle, the pipeline passes pump station number 5 in a just incredibly spectacular valley. The Prospect Workers Camp was located there during the construction. And on January 23rd, 1971, they recorded a temperature of 80 degrees below zero, so you can see some of the conditions they were working in.
It looks like it's 80 above today, Mike. Glad you got some warmer weather.
It's warm here in Fairbanks. I'm sweating, can you see?
That's right, but it's in Fairbanks. Thanks, Mike. Mike Ross, we'll talk to you tonight.
See you back at 6, John. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.